Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to a very special episode of the show with a very special guest. We have here Brian Tatler, of course, founding member, guitar player, songwriter of Diamond Head, also guitar player in Saxon. What's going on, Brian? How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Pete. Nice to be on your show. I'm doing well. It's very warm here in Stourbridge. Unusually, we are having a spell of hot weather, so
Okay.
it's all good.
Well, we're right there with you. We've had lots of rain of late here in New York, which I know you're pretty used to over there, but now it's getting very hot, and I think we're going to have temperatures that are probably 20 degrees hotter than what they should be around this time of
Oh,
June, starting over the next couple of days. So, but
wow,
what are you going
that's
to do, right?
very hot. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
summer.
It's about 20. I'd say 27 here, something like that. 27 degrees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can never get the
Mm.
exchange, the tick, because we have the Fahrenheit here. I
Yeah,
can never figure it out. I'm always like, oh, that's
thank you.
probably what do we have to add 55, I think, to that.
You should know by now.
I
You
know I
really.
should know because I talk to so many people from like Europe and the UK, and we have these conversations all the time. And then when I have the next conversation, I'm like, all right, so that would be how much for Fahrenheit? I'm like, I don't know. It's hot though. That's the main
Yeah,
thing.
it's hot.
That's the main thing. So the reason we've got Brian here today is we've got a brand new live album coming out on July 11th from Diamond Head called Live and Electric, which will be out on Silver Lining Music.
Mhm.
And so this contains, and Brian, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this that I'm going to say here, but it contains recordings from your 2022 tour with Saxon, with tracks recorded from these various arenas: Bexhill De La War Pavilion, St.
Yeah,
David's Hall in Cardiff, Cambridge Corn Exchange, York Barbican, the Aberdeen Music Hall, and the King George's Hall in Blackburn.
that's
So basically, what you guys have done is taken like a best of all the record. I'm sure you had to go and listen to all the recordings from all the shows, and basically you presented like a best of that tour from 2022. Is that pretty accurate?
I suppose so. I mean, we had that luxury of being able to record every show on that UK tour, and we've never had that before. Our front of house guy, Jay, said we could, digitally, we've got a digital desk, it'll record every show if you want to, and then you just dump it down onto a hard drive, and then at a later date, we can review the tapes. Not they're not tapes, are they? But yeah, we can listen to all the tracks and decide, do we want to release this or was it just a good idea? So anyway, yeah, we did that and we went through, all the tracks, all the recordings, all the dates. We had a big chart on the wall with all the song titles and the venues, 14 venues. So we went through them all and picked the best ones. Uh, Obviously, we didn't do the same set every night because of time. So when you're supporting, normally you get like 40 minutes or something. So that's not enough for a live album. So what we decided to do was change the set. Keep the big songs. We do the big songs every night, like Am I Evil and The Prince. But then you can throw in deep cuts and songs from the last couple of albums, and then eventually we've got all 12 songs recorded, and it was just a case of finding time to review them, a couple of days in the studio, and that's it. Pick out the best ones, and it's very difficult when you have 14 versions. They're all roughly the same, but we just go with feel, and if it was a good vocal and if it wasn't too the track wasn't too fast and things like that.
Well, I mean, that's a great segue into my next question because I was gonna ask you, whenever when I'm talking to like a band that's been around for a long time that has classic material from way back when, but have still been releasing new albums,
Mhm.
when
Mhm.
you're playing live shows and tours, trying to blend some of the newer stuff with all the old classics that everybody wants to hear. But I think in
Mhm.
this instance, because you recorded so many shows and because you changed up that set list every night, it's not like you had, okay, these are the 10 or whatever songs that we played, and that's all we played, that's what we
Yeah,
have to go with.
yeah,
You basically could pick and choose. So now, when you look at the set list of the live album, you've got some of the newer songs like Bones and The Messenger and Belly of the Beast and some really cool deep cuts blended in with the classics that you have to have on there. So
yeah.
ultimately, it results in a live album that's very varied and gives you basically a little bit of everything that what you guys have been about for 45 plus years, right?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, you've got to do the big songs, and we wanted to do some stuff from the last two albums,
Sure.
so we would just switch it around. Some nights we'd do Belly of the Beast, some nights we'd do The Messenger, but we couldn't do. It's different when you're a support act, isn't it? When you're the main act, you can do an hour and a half, you can do
Yeah.
2 hours if you want to, but when you're the opening act, I mean, we wanted to take advantage of the opportunity because we're playing to large crowds. It's a big Saxon crowd, and then we'd been on tour for like 22 dates in Europe, and then this came right after it. So we felt, completely match ready and tight enough to let's try and capture, lightning in a bottle, as they say.
Yeah.
And so that was the plan. We thought, let's record it. You never know when we may get another opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have to comment because this is like the first time we're really talking about, the music and the band and whatnot. So Rasmus now has been fronting the band for over a decade now, and he's
Yeah,
become the voice of Diamond Head. Could you talk a little bit about how you guys got together and had him join the band, and what was it like for like the first couple of years with him being the new frontman and voice of Diamond Head? Did the fans take to him right off the bat, or did it take a
I,
little while?
yeah, I think they did take to him. I think most people, have come up to me and said, he's a great singer, and they'd be honest. I think they would say, I prefer Sean, or I prefer Nick. I've had that, but most people really, really like Raz. And yeah, I mean, I've got hold of him through a friend, a bass player. Knew somebody who knew him. They'd been to London uni together or something, and they were both doing a music course. And she knew of Raz and knew, oh, he's a good singer, good, he can sing a rock, you know. So exchange phone numbers, and we kind of did an audition online by sending him a backing track, and he put the vocals on, and then I thought that was great. And then we got together. He came up to Birmingham. We rehearsed, and I pretty much said, yeah, great. If you want to do these dates, we've got the dates booked, and he was okay with everything. He said at one point he was in that mode or whatever he called it, where he likes to say yes to everything. So he was saying, whatever somebody phoned up, do you want to do a gig tomorrow for a death metal band? He'd go yes. So he just kept saying yes to everything, and he said yes to us. And here we are, I think 11 years later. So, and we've done a couple of albums with him.
Right.
Um,
Right. Which
and it's
always
all,
helps because it's
yes, it
kind of,
does. I mean, to him, it was, I think, important to do some new material and not just do the old stuff. Because, I mean, he totally respected the legacy and the catalogue, and he would delve into, listen, make sure he listened to everything. But yeah, he was happy to do, put his own stamp on
sure,
things.
sure. Which I think he's done very well because I think
Mhm.
the couple albums that he's done with you guys are very good. And that
Thank you.
leads me to my next question. So the Coffin Train came out 6 years ago. Is there any new music on the horizon for you guys? I mean, I know you've been busy with Saxon, so we'll get to that in a minute, but
Yes. What? Well, yeah, that took 2.5 years to make that album. So after that, we did the Lightning to the Nations 2020. Then we went into 2021 and we started preparing material. We were in rehearsal for a while, but it didn't come easily. We were working at it, and then everybody's busy doing different things. Then we run into COVID.
yep.
That slowed everything down. We were kind of touring the Coffin Train when COVID happened. I think it was like from March 2020 or something. Everything just kind of shut down. So we did a little bit of preparation, but we never got to the point where there's any vocals, or we didn't record the drums or anything. And then we got this tour in 2022, and after that, I got offered the job for Saxon. So I just thought I can't do a Diamond Head album at the moment, especially if it's going to take 2.5 years again.
Yeah.
Uh, so, and also, as pretty much as soon as I joined Saxon, not only am I learning all the songs for the shows, I was also asked if I'd got any ideas for the next album because we were doing that Judas Priest tour in March 2024. Biff wanted the album out by January 2024, so we set about writing and recording that album from the summer of 2023 onwards. So there was suddenly a lot more on my plate than I was used to, and something had to, hold fire. So I said, I don't want to do a Diamond Head album at the moment. Let's just see how it goes with Saxon. I've been given this fantastic opportunity.
Right.
I want to run with it, and we'll take stock in a couple of years and see where we are.
But in the meantime, you have the live album at least, so that's something that you can give back
Yeah.
to fans
Well,
while
yeah,
patiently waiting, right?
we'd already recorded this live album in 2022, as
Yep.
we said, and so it's a case of okay, let's put the live album out. We offered it to the label and they liked it, and here we are. It's finally coming out.
Yeah. Yeah. So to kind of circle back on the Saxon thing, so when I heard the news that you had joined Saxon, to me it just seemed like a perfect fit because I'm sure you have a history with the band. I mean, you guys both came up around the same time, part of the whole new wave of British heavy metal scene. I'm assuming you guys played lots of shows together back in the day, so you guys probably knew each other and whatnot. But I mean, did the tour that Diamond Head did with Saxon, because it all kind of happened around the same time. So Paul Quinn decides that he's going to retire from live shows. You guys are playing the tour with the band. Did it just kind of like all work out magically like that because you happened to be there with them and
Um,
there's an opportunity and it's like, and now you're a member of Saxon? I mean, it seemed like everything just fell in line.
I don't know. It would be easy if it had just worked out magically, but I think, yeah, from what I can gather, in in 2022, I was asked if I would stand in for Paul when he had COVID for a festival. But in the end, I didn't need to do it because he was okay for the show. But I did think that was very interesting that they asked me. Um, so yeah, we've got to know each other over time, and they probably thought, yeah, he's a nice guy. I could live. You could be able to live with each other, haven't you? You
Yeah.
you have to spend a lot of time in vans and buses and planes and you name it. So they must have thought about if Paul does retire, because I think I heard Biff say at one point, Paul had been thinking about retiring for a while, so he probably mentioned it. I've had enough, blah blah blah. I don't know what he said, but Biff probably started to think, okay, if Paul does retire, who could we get? So he probably had a couple of names, I don't know, and I must have been one of them. So anyway, they asked me to do this festival. I learnt the set, etc., and then about 6 months later, I got a call from the management. We were on the same management and the same record label to say Paul's left the band. Would I be interested in taking over, doing all these shows? And he reeled off, we're going here, we're going there, South America, blah blah blah. And I just immediately said, yes, of course, great, I'd love to. So that was it. And then this is the first show, so start learning the set again, get it even tighter, and work on the detail, and that was it. And then a couple of rehearsals before the first show, and away we go.
Yeah. And then let's do a new album. So it's like you're thrown right into
Yeah,
the middle of the fire right away, right?
yeah, right away, straight in there. And yeah, Biff called to say we're doing a new album, and if you've got any ideas, send them over. So, and then I would go up to Biff's in New York, and we would work on the tracks, and so I need a bit there, and I want to change that bit, and it came together. The album came together pretty quickly, the Hellfire and Damnation. So that was pretty painless.
Yeah. Was it nice for you to be able to come over to the States fairly soon thereafter? Because I mean, I know Diamond Head has come here, but maybe not
Yeah,
as often as you like over the years. But
yeah,
Saxon's been pretty, they've been coming over here pretty regularly. So I'm
yeah.
assuming going
Since
forward.
2011, we probably did 5 or 6 tours. But yeah, with Saxon, it's in a tour bus. It was a 7 week tour, which is the longest tour I've ever done. And I've never toured US in a tour bus. It's always been a splitter van with gear in the back, set up your own gear, that type of thing. But so it's nice to have crew and a bit of luxury. And
Did you get
it was,
along good with the Uriah Heep guys?
yeah, that was all good as well. We had two separate buses, and everybody got on great. Yeah, occasionally we'd all get together in hotels or restaurants and have a meal together and things like that. And yeah, it was great. Mick Box is a fantastic character, isn't he, and
Yeah.
storyteller. So he's a. It was nice just to I've met him before, but actually chat to him,
He's a
find out.
genuine human being. He really is, and
Yeah,
he's
he
got such
is.
a zest for life. And yeah, he does have great stories, and
Yeah,
it,
happy. Yes, it seems a very happy guy.
very yes. Yeah. For the folks watching, the image that Mick Box portrays to the media and on stage is exactly how he is, like in real life.
Yes,
He is that funny, just exuberant type of personality, and he's like a pleasure to be around. So
I don't think he could keep up a pretense. Could he, if he was, actually putting it all on for the socials? Yeah, you couldn't keep it up. Something would crack, or somebody would bear the brunt of. But I heard nothing, nothing bad whatsoever.
yeah, he's a good guy. So the new album coming out July 11th, so it's in just a couple of weeks. So you've got that. What else is in the works for you, whether it be Saxon or anything else? Like over the next 6 months, year, 2 years, do you have like kind of like a timeline of things that are going to be happening with yourself or with Saxon or whatnot?
Yeah, the tour continues. I mean, this year we've already been we did a tour of Europe for 5 weeks. Then we did some dates in Texas. We've been to Japan. We've been to South America. We've just done a festival in France called Heavy Weekend. Then we're off. More dates coming up. We've got a gig on the 2nd of July, but I forgot where it is. And then there's more dates going into August, September. And then we've got a tour of the UK in November. So that'll be my first headline tour with Saxon in the UK. So I'm looking forward to that. We're playing not far from my hometown. We're playing
Oh, nice.
Wolverhampton, a place called the Halls in Wolverhampton. Um, then also at the same time, we're also working on the next album. So we're all providing music, and the next Saxon album will come out at the end of next year.
Wow.
So it needs to be ready by probably the summer at the latest of next year.
Yeah, the Saxon album juggernaut the last couple bunch of years is pretty relentless. You guys have
It
been
is.
very, very consistent with getting stuff out every like kind of 2, 3 years. So
Yeah, I think they try to do an album every couple of years. Uh, so yeah, it's just they know what they're doing. They've got a way of doing things that works, and it's great to be part of it. It's good fun.
yeah. So we don't get much of it here in the States at all, but I know over in Europe, the summer season is festival season. I think you mentioned a couple before. Do you have
Yeah,
any like, big festivals that you guys are playing at this summer?
I know we're doing Wacken
Oh,
in
you are doing
August.
Wacken. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
Yes, or Wacken.
Wacken,
Yeah.
yeah. I
uh,
used to say Wacken all the time, and it's like that's not
yes,
how
I
you
did.
pronounce it, Pete. You damn Americans don't know how to pronounce any of this stuff, but
That's right.
Wacken,
That's right. It because it begins with W.
right, throws you off, right?
Foolishly presume it's pronounced Wacken, but
Yeah.
no. uh, so yeah, I can't remember some of the other ones. We've got dates in Sweden and France and Spain, Germany. I forget. I think there's one in Poland, but yeah, it's all there on the socials if you need to find out. But I can't remember them off the top of my head.
Are the festivals
Yeah,
stressful for you at all, or do you enjoy them just as much as, the regular tour dates?
I enjoy them. I mean, it's a big crowd,
Yeah.
so I mean, to me, everything in Saxon's still a real novelty because I've only been doing it for 2 years now, and so while some of the other guys might, oh, we're going to South America again or whatever. To me, it's like, oh, great, we're going to South America. It's all very new to me. I'm enjoying everything about it. It's all fresh to me. Because as you know, Saxon been going a long time, so that they've been around the block, and yeah, to me, it's great. So I've done things with Diamond Head, but this is a totally different level,
Sure.
much higher up the ladder.
Sure.
Uh, I think Saxon might headline the festival, but Diamond Head would have been on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. So it's a different vibe altogether.
For sure, but I think, your transition into Saxon, I think, was made all the more easy because Diamond Head has such a long history and is so beloved in
Yeah,
this genre of music anyway. So I remember,
yeah,
like I said earlier, hearing when you joined the band, it just made sense to me. And everybody I've talked to is like, "Oh, Brian just fits right in like a glove because you guys are from the same scene, and you're
yeah.
so known as it is, and such a beloved guitar player that it
Okay.
made total sense. And it's almost like you've been in the band for years and years and years."
Yeah, I suppose I do fit in because age and experience. I have been playing at a professional level for probably 45 years, so I'm not going to get phased by, okay, there's 60,000 people there or something. I've done some big shows in the past, but Saxon obviously do a lot more big shows than we had with Diamond Head. But yes, I mean, experience counts, doesn't it? I've got tons and tons of experience, and I think that it probably all played into the reasons why I got chosen. I'm a writer as well, so I think that's probably part of the
Sure.
puzzle.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So I can't let you go without talking gear a little bit, and I see that wonderful Les Paul behind you. What what's your guitars of choice on the tours and what you've been using at home? Anything new that you've gotten or things that you're using and trying out these days? Amps,
I've
effects,
just
things.
I've just bought a Buddha wah, which is nice. So I've been using a Vox wah for a long
Okay.
time, but I've had a couple of faults with it, like the switch would go and the leads, the input jacks would be crackly. So anyway, I bought a Buddha wah, and I think that sounds better. So
Really?
I'm from
Okay.
now on, yeah, I do. I'm going to use that at the shows.
Have you ever
Uh,
experimented with the Dunlop Crybabies at all, or you always been a Vox?
yeah, I've tried those. I've tried those. I like this Buddha at the moment.
Yeah, I've never
So
tried one of those. I've heard
yeah,
about you for years, but
good. It's really good. I've had a couple of people recommend them to
okay.
me, and I like it. But gear-wise, I always use a Les Paul. I've got a Les Paul 2002 that it's always a standard. I prefer standards to customs. And the Flying V. So I bought a brand new Flying V last year from the Gibson Garage in London, and just the white 70s sort of reissue uh, sort of standard guitar with pickups and everything, and Grover machine heads. So that's great. That's really nice because I mean I've had a Flying V for since 1979,
Yep.
but I it's broke. It broke 5 times over the years at the headstock, and it's been repaired and all that. But I always think it's a bit fragile, and I don't really want to put it on planes when it gets chucked into the hold. And so I don't like to take it on tour really, and it's retired now. I'm going to keep it in the house. But I'm okay with this brand new one. That feels a bit more
Is it the same one
solid.
you had last year when you guys came over here? Because I remember you both playing Flying V's last year, but I don't remember what brand it was or.
No, yeah, well, I had a black one. I've got a black Gibson Flying V, which I've been using for a few
Maybe that's
years.
what
I've
you
been
had.
using that in Diamond Head, and I've carried it over to Saxon. Uh, so it could be that. That's a 2016 model,
Okay.
um, where the pickups are sort of screwed into the wood rather than the plastic, scratch plate. Yeah, I've been using that. That's good. That's it. Not even full size. It's kind of a bit smaller than full size, and it fits nicely. But I've decided to go back to the white flying V. I mean, I think it looks great in photographs.
Well, the white V's are pretty striking.
Yeah,
I'm
and sort
trying
of
to find because I took pictures that night, and I'm trying to find
right.
a
I'm
shot of
sort of
it.
associated with the flying V, so I brought it back into the fold, and so I've been using that. But I've been using Kemper for a while, and when I joined Saxon, they said they use Kemper, and
You got the black one.
okay, the black one.
Yeah, the
Yes,
black
that's
one.
right. So yeah, I've been using that probably for about 4 years, I think, and that's nice. That's nice. Uh, but yeah, we use Kemper, myself and Doug, uh, and it sounds great. We use it with going into two Marshall JCM 2000s, and that powers the back line, and then it goes to the in-ear monitors and the front of house. So it's really sort of a chunky, consistent sound wherever you go. If you go, to Brazil or Birmingham, it's exactly the same sound.
There you go. That's important too.
Yeah.
Good, good. So Live and Electric coming out July 11th, right around the corner. Check it out. Brian, in this day and age where people can watch full concerts and shows on YouTube from either professionally recorded or with people with cell phones, in this day and age, this is not the live album age, but why should someone go out and buy the new Live and Electric from Diamond Head in
Uh,
2025?
because it's a memento, isn't it? It's a piece of its time. That tour will never happen again. It's been captured for posterity. It's powerful versions of those songs. You've got Raz on board. It's the first live Diamond Head album for 20 years.
Yes.
And it's got, songs on there that have never been on a Diamond Head live album before. Quite a few songs. And it's got Raz, it's got Abs has never been on a live Diamond Head album before, and Paul, the bass player. So we thought we'll capture this lineup with this sound, and just to try and keep something, keep the band alive with some product and things like that. So
Absolutely.
it just felt like, we all agreed it was a good idea to get it out there.
Yeah. And folks, I've heard it. It's really good. And like I said, you get a nice selection of songs from throughout the catalog, which I think is great. You get the old
Yeah.
classics, some of the cool deep cuts, and some of the more recent stuff. And you
Yeah,
get,
Dead Reckoning's on there, and
yeah,
we don't
exactly. Exactly.
we
Yeah.
don't play Dead Reckoning that often, and it's only been on. It was on a B side of the Colby EP, and it was on. There's like some demo album.
Yeah, it's like an EP, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was on something like Heaven and Hell or something, some Metal Blade, compilation thing from the mid 80s or something. And so it's not that popular, Dead Reckoning, or it's not that widely known, and I think it's a great track. So I thought we should give that a new, lease of life if possible. Give it another airing.
Absolutely. So check out the new live album coming out soon. I want to thank Brian Tatler for joining us today and talking Diamond Head and a bit of Saxon as well. So Brian, you're always welcome on the channel, and
Thank you.
best of luck with all the summer shows and whatnot. And we're looking forward to that new Saxon coming out in 2026.
Yes, looking forward to it. Thanks, Pete.
Great. Thanks for coming. Everybody, thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. For Brian Tatler, I am Pete Pardo. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Check out the new Diamond Head live album, and we'll see you soon. Take care, everybody.
See you soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.